Hi, I'm Mrs McTaggart, and this is the third video in my vectors series. We're going to be looking at the magnitude of a vector. Now, I've mentioned the word magnitude before. Magnitude in maths is a fancy word for length, which is what's written here. So the magnitude of a vector, let's talk about the notation. This is the notation here. So when we're talking about magnitudes, we kind of draw these two vertical lines either side of something. So if I wanted the magnitude of A, it would be written as magnitude A. So that is what these two straight lines are denoted as. And you'll see down here that this could be written two different ways. So in my diagram, I have the vector P to Q, but I've also called that vector U. So they're both the exact same, it's just different notation. And the lines at the sides, basically your clue, it doesn't always say magnitude, it might just say calculate and then have it written with the two vertical lines, and it's up to you to recognise, oh, that's magnitude. Now, magnitude is just a case of using Pythagoras. So let's look at example 1. This is actually the same diagram that was just on the previous slide. To work out the magnitude of this W, you've got two options. You can make a little right angle triangle and count the boxes and say, right, this is 4 and 3, and then do Pythagoras that way. Or you could think, right, oh, well, W as a vector is 4, 3. These are basically your A and your B values. And then all you do is you say, right, magnitude of W equals, and we do the square root of 4 squared plus 3 squared. So whereas back in normal Pythagoras, we'd do all these lines working and then we square root at the end, we're a wee bit more advanced now and we're doing vectors. So we're just going to do the square root of the two added together and squared. So this would give us the square root of 16 plus 9, which is 25. And we all know the square root of 25 is 5. So the magnitude of this diagram here, W, is 5. Here is another one. We don't have a diagram this time. It's just simply in component form. So these are like your values that go into the Pythagoras. So we write down our notation. Let me change my pen colour because I don't like red. We'd say magnitude of PQ. Remember, we need the notation, so two lines either side and the arrow above. So magnitude PQ equals the square root of our first number squared, 6 squared, plus negative 3 squared. Now, I'm just going to put an extra wee bits of work in for this one. I don't normally do this, but I don't have a calculator to reach for just now. 6 squared would be 36. Negative 3 squared, remember, is just the exact same as 3 squared. Do not be tempted to write negative 9 here. I would tell you, never even bother putting the negative in the calculator. Just square each number. 6 squared is 36. 3 squared is 9, so it's 36 plus 9, which is the square root of 45. Now, depending on the question, if it was a calculator one, you could get the square root of 45 and then say, right, this is 6.71 to 2 decimal places. Or if you have seen surds before, you might not have, they might ask you to leave your answer as a surd in simplest form. And if you know surds, you know that root 45 can be written as square root of 9 times the square root of 5. Well, that's not 5. And then the square root of 9 is just 3 root 5. So there's two different ways of writing this answer, depending whether it's calculator or non-calculator, and if they've mentioned surds in it. Okay, if you haven't seen surds yet, don't worry about it. You'll see it soon. Okay, here is one more example. This time we're going to do a bit of adding and magnitude. So they want us to work out 3a minus b, and the lines either side show that they want the magnitude as well. So we're going to park the magnitude bit just now and just focus on 3a minus b. So 3a would be 3 times the a vector, take away the b vector, and we'll work this out first. So this gives us 6, negative 3, take away 4, 6. 6 take away 4 is 2, minus 3 minus 6 is minus 9. So that's what 3a minus b is. Now to do the magnitude of 3a minus b, sorry, I should have probably put in that that was just 3a minus b here that we were working out. So the magnitude now is doing the Pythagoras onto that. So 2 squared plus minus 9 squared. I sometimes get a wee bit lazy and just go straight to writing 4 plus 81, and I square them as I'm doing it. 4 plus 81 is 85, square root of 85. And as an answer, that gives us 9.22 to 2 decimal places. And that's how you do magnitude. So if you're good at Pythagoras, you should be okay with these. Common mistakes we see though is when you're asked to square a negative, people would say that minus 9 squared is minus 81, which you then couldn't square root. So just watch your numbers, okay? And a magnitude question comes up most years, and it's really easy marks if you can spot it. Thanks for watching, hope this has helped.